The morning I discovered my ex had drained our joint account, I learned the most expensive lesson of my life. The first 30 days after divorce papers can cost you everything or save you hundreds of thousands. Here's what the lawyers won't tell you until it's too late. And if that sentence just made your stomach drop, yeah, I get it. Hey, before we dive in, can we just breathe together for a second? I know you probably haven't taken a real breath in days. So right now with me, in through your nose, hold it, and out. There we go. You know what? In my experience, almost 9 out of 10 people I've worked with describe the exact same feeling, like someone ripped their financial security blanket away while they were sleeping. I remember when my friend, let's call her Sarah, called me at 3 a.m., sobbing because she'd just discovered her ex had been slowly moving money for months. She kept saying, "How did I not see this coming? I feel so stupid." And I told her what I'm telling you right now. You're not stupid. You trusted someone. That's what humans do. That 3 a.m. panic, the crying in your car after meeting with the lawyer who just quoted you their $5,000 retainer? Normal. The feeling like you're drowning in paperwork while everyone else seems to have their shit together? Completely normal. You know what's wild? Even the divorce attorneys I know went through this same spiral when it was their turn. And before you close this video thinking, this won't work for me because my situation is different, or I don't have enough money to protect, stop. I've worked with people protecting $500 and people protecting $500,000. The principles are often the same. Your situation isn't too complicated, too simple, or too anything. It's just yours. And we're going to handle it. So after working with over 127 people through this exact financial nightmare, and yeah, I keep count because every single person matters, I've seen patterns that would blow your mind. The same mistakes, the same oversights, the same "I wish someone had told me" moments. Just last week, someone I worked with, we'll call her Jennifer from Ohio, texted me a photo from her new apartment. 3 years ago, she was sleeping on her sister's couch, convinced she'd never recover financially from her divorce. Last week, she closed on her own place, cash, because she followed strategies similar to what I'm about to share with you. And here's what nobody tells you about divorce finances. The game is rigged, but not in the way you think. It's not rigged against you. It's rigged against people who don't know the rules. The system actually has protections built in, but they're hidden behind legal jargon and intimidating paperwork. Once you know where to look, it's like having the cheat codes. Look, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving legal advice. Always consult with a qualified attorney for that. What I am is someone who sat with crying friends at 2 a.m., walked people through their first post-divorce budget, and celebrated with them when they bought their first solo home. I'm the friend who happens to be obsessed with making sure good people don't get financially screwed by bad situations. Okay, so in the next 12 minutes, and yes, I timed it because I know you're exhausted and your attention span is shot right now. Here's what we're covering. First, I'm walking you through what I call the 72-hour money lockdown. This is your financial emergency plan. And if you do nothing else, do this. But check your state's specific laws first. Then we're exposing the hidden money hemorrhage, the sneaky ways you might be bleeding cash right now without realizing it. Finally, I'll show you how to build your divorce SWAT team without spending your kids' college fund on attorneys. And by the end, you'll have an actual plan to discuss with your attorney, not just more worry. You'll know exactly what questions to ask tomorrow morning. Hell, you'll know what to do in the next hour. You ready? Let's do this together. Note, names and identifying details have been changed to protect privacy. This video is for educational purposes only, and not legal advice. All right, let's talk about the 72-hour money lockdown. And I mean the real stuff, not the BS that takes 6 weeks to learn about. But remember, laws vary by state, so verify these strategies apply in your area. This might feel scary at first, but stick with me, because I'm about to tell you about someone who waited 4 days, to act after being served divorce papers. In those 4 days, her ex legally withdrew $47,000 from their joint savings, legally in their state. Because in many jurisdictions, until a court order says otherwise, joint typically means joint. Here's exactly what you're gonna do, like literally step by step. And if you can, open your laptop or phone right now and do this with me. First, what I call the screenshot insurance policy. Text yourself, not email, text, photos of every single bank statement you can access. Checking, savings, credit cards, investment accounts, retirement, the kids' 529S, everything. Why text? Because texts are generally harder to delete accidentally, and they're time-stamped. Back them up to cloud storage too. Do this right now. I'm not kidding. Pause this video if you need to, because here's what can happen. Your access to online statements can be cut off. I've seen situations where suddenly someone couldn't access 6 months of history. Technical glitch? Who knows? But they didn't have copies. And whatever you do, don't log into your ex's individual accounts even if you know the password. That's often considered unauthorized access, and someone I know learned that lesson the hard way. It can lead to serious legal consequences, even though she was just trying to see if money was being hidden. While you're screenshotting, get the last 12 months minimum. Get every transaction. And here's an insider tip. Also screenshot the account numbers and routing numbers. You'll need these later, and trust me, trying to get them after your access is cut off can be a nightmare. Okay, now here's something important about protecting assets. In many cases, withdrawing your fair share is viewed differently than taking more than that. I've found that calling your bank on a Tuesday or Wednesday morning often means shorter wait times. Say something like, "I need to discuss options for removing myself from a joint account due to pending legal proceedings." The phrase legal proceedings tends to get you transferred to someone who can actually help, in my experience. But always consult with your attorney before making any major financial moves. Now here's what I've observed. Courts often view withdrawing exactly 50% more favorably than taking more. But this can vary by jurisdiction and circumstance. Open a new account at a completely different bank, not just a different branch, a different company altogether. Why? It helps keep finances clearly separated. This approach helped someone I know protect $15,000 when their ex was planning to take what they called a business trip to Vegas with joint funds. By moving exactly half to safety after consulting with their lawyer, they protected their share while staying on what the court viewed as the right side of the legal line. I know your brain might be melting right now. That's normal. You just learned more about protecting your money than most people figure out during their entire divorce. Take a screenshot if you need to. I'll wait. You know what? You're already doing better than 90% of people by learning this. The people I mentioned earlier wish they'd known. But you know now, and that's going to help protect you, financially speaking. Here's the thing. This isn't about being vindictive or screwing anyone over. This is about making sure you can eat next month, making sure you can keep a roof over your head. That's not selfish, that's survival. So now that you've learned about the 72-hour lockdown, and seriously, if you haven't done it yet, pause and do it now after checking with your attorney. We need to talk about the hidden money hemorrhage. This is the part where most people make costly mistakes, but not you, because you're about to learn what took me 3 years and countless stories from people I've worked with to figure out. This is where your money might be bleeding out right now, like a financial paper cut you don't even feel. Let me break this down like I'm explaining it to my best friend over coffee. You know all those automatic payments you set up and forgot about? They could potentially impact your financial picture in court. That gym membership on autopay? In some cases, it can be viewed as evidence of disposable income that might be considered when calculating support payments. I'm not making this up. I've heard of judges looking at someone's $150 CrossFit membership and factoring it into their financial analysis. Go to your bank's website right now, I'll wait, and pull up your automatic payments list. It's usually under Manage Payments or Scheduled Transfers. Screenshot that too. Here's what I've learned from numerous cases. Courts often examine spending patterns from the months around filing to understand your lifestyle. That Netflix account you're sharing with your ex? That Spotify family plan? That meal delivery service? All of these paint a picture of your spending habits. The timing here can be important. Making financial adjustments before papers are filed is often viewed differently than making them after. Always document your financial decisions and discuss major changes with your attorney. When canceling services, you might say, "I'm reviewing all household expenses." If they push back with offers, you could respond, "I appreciate that, but I need to cancel effective immediately." Now here's a strategy that many people don't know about, but check with your attorney first. The documented budget review. Instead of that $150 gym membership, consider a $10 Planet Fitness membership. Instead of $200 at Whole Foods, shop at Aldi and put the difference in savings. Document everything. Screenshot this part, you'll need it. Consider creating a spreadsheet called Household Budget Review, dated before any divorce discussions. List budget decisions as part of responsible financial planning. This can help show the court you were being financially responsible. I knew someone who did exactly this. When her ex's attorney tried to claim she was artificially depressing her lifestyle, she produced 3 months of spreadsheets showing systematic budget cuts across the board. The judge actually commended her financial responsibility. You know what's inspiring? Remember that person who lost $47,000? She implemented these strategies 3 months after her initial setback. She reviewed her monthly expenses and found significant savings just by eliminating unnecessary subscriptions. She went from paying $890 a month in various subscriptions and memberships to $47. $47. The rest went straight to her rebuilding fund. 6 months later, when financial discussions came up in court, she had documentation showing she'd been living frugally by choice, not circumstance. Last time we spoke, she said, "I never thought I'd say this, but that financial review saved my life. Not just my money, my actual life. Because when you're not bleeding money, you can breathe, you can plan, you can rebuild." All right, last piece, building your divorce SWAT team. This is where it all comes together. And I know what you're thinking. I can't afford a team. I can barely afford groceries. Let me stop you right there. You can't afford not to have the right team. But here's the secret. The right team isn't what you think it is, and it doesn't always cost what you think it does. You don't necessarily need the $500/hour attorney everybody recommends for everything. Here's what to consider, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to find help. First, consider a certified divorce financial analyst, CDFA. They often charge less per hour than attorneys and may need fewer hours for financial analysis. Why? Because they specialize in the intersection of divorce and money. They can spot financial issues that others might miss. Can't afford a CDFA? Here's an alternative that many people find helpful. Find a divorce support group and ask who helped with their finances. Someone always knows someone. Facebook groups, local churches, community centers, people who've been through this often share resources. Make sure any financial professional has appropriate credentials. CDFA or CFP, Certified Financial Planner with divorce experience. No relevant credentials? Be cautious. And consider asking these 3 questions in the consultation. How many divorce cases have you handled in the last year? What's your approach to analyzing financial situations in divorce? Can you provide references from clients with similar financial situations? If they can't answer these confidently, thank them for their time and keep looking. Remember Jennifer from the beginning? Here's what happened, and I'm going to paint you the whole picture because you need to see this is possible. 3 years ago, she was sleeping on her sister's couch with her 2 kids. Her ex had convinced her she was bad with money for so long she believed it. She had $342 in her checking account and significant credit card debt, much of it from joint financial decisions. She found a CDFA through her divorce support group. The consultation was reasonably priced. Working with her attorney, that CDFA helped uncover significant overlooked assets in her husband's business. Assets that Jennifer didn't even know existed. But here's the moment that gives me chills every time. 6 months after her divorce was final, she sent me a photo. She was standing in front of a credit union, holding a paper. Her credit score had improved dramatically. She said, "I never thought I'd be the kind of person who could rebuild, but I did it, one financial decision at a time." Last month, that house she bought, she put 20% down, in cash, the same woman who had $342 3 years ago. So comment below if this helped you dodge a financial bullet. And subscribe for more insider strategies that could save you from making the same devastating mistakes I watched destroy so many good people's futures. But more importantly, take action today, not tomorrow. Today. Here's why. Every 24 hours you wait is another day without financial protection. Another day without documentation. Another day that could make a difference. And honestly, future you is going to thank present you for this. I know it doesn't feel like it right now. I know you're scared and tired and probably haven't eaten a real meal in days. But you just spent 12 minutes learning what most people don't figure out until it's too late. You've got this. I know it doesn't feel like it, but you do. You're not the same person who started this video 12 minutes ago. You're informed now. You're prepared in the best way. Now go take those screenshots. Make that Tuesday morning bank call after consulting with your attorney. Review those autopays. Find your financial professional. I'm rooting for you. We all are. Everyone who's been where you are right now. And hey, 6 months from now, when you're in a better place, come back and tell us about it. Because someone else is going to need to hear that they can survive this too. You're not alone in this. Not anymore. Remember, this video is for educational purposes only. Always consult with qualified legal and financial professionals for advice specific to your situation. Laws and regulations vary by state and individual circumstances.